Hours ago you lay down, and the body is still running, lit like a room no one remembered to switch off. There is a gentler name for this than the ones you reach for in the dark. Not failure, not weakness, only a nervous system that learned to stay on watch and never got told the watch was over. The strange part is that the same alertness that carried you through the long day is the thing standing between you and rest now. And it cannot stand down just because you asked it to. Welcome to Psychology for Sleep. Tonight asks nothing of you. There is a quieter place under all that running, and you do not reach it by climbing. You reach it by stopping. You are somewhere the day is finally allowed to set itself down, asking nothing of you, needing no permission you have not already given tonight. Bone tired and wide awake at the same time, the body heavy, the mind sprinting. Sleep scientists call this state autonomic arousal, and it shows up when the part of your nervous system built to protect you stays switched on long after the threat has passed. The sympathetic branch, the accelerator, keeps pressing down. The branch that lets you rest cannot quite find its footing. So the night is not a sign you are doing sleep wrong. It is a body still finishing a conversation the day began. And under everything we will move through tonight sits one quiet question. If sleep is not a task to complete, but a safe place that has been waiting for your return, how would you step back into it? The chest tightens for no reason you can name, hours after the hard moment has gone. That feeling has a chemical underneath it, a stress signal called cortisol that is built to rise in the morning and fall away by night. When the days pile up without rest, the falling part of that curve flattens out. The body keeps a small alarm lit at the very hour it should be going dark. Researchers have mapped this rhythm with care, and what it tells you is kind. The tightness in your chest is not you making too much of things. It is a real signal in a real body, doing its job at the wrong time of day. The harder the trying, the further sleep drifts away. There is a reason effort works against you here. Rest is run by the parasympathetic nervous system, the branch that only steps forward once you stop pushing. Forcing it is like trying to loosen a muscle by squeezing it tighter. The command and the goal cancel each other out. A body does not answer an order to relax. It answers the moment the demands stop arriving. So the trying itself, however sensible it feels at midnight, is part of what holds the door shut. Setting the effort down is not giving up. It is the one move that actually opens the way through. The head meets the pillow, and the thoughts pick up speed, as if the quiet had invited them in. When the outside world goes still, a circuit called the default mode network grows louder inside the brain. It is the part that narrates and remembers and rehearses, the inner voice that runs whenever nothing else is asking for your attention. Through the day, tasks keep it in check. At night, with nothing left to do, it turns toward the unfinished business of being a person. The racing mind is not a fault in you. It is a healthy system doing its work in a room that has finally gone silent around it. A particular guilt arrives when you lie down before the day feels finished. A sense that rest is something you were supposed to earn first. That feeling reaches back far past any to-do list. For most of human history, stopping meant being unguarded, and a faint version of that wiring still treats rest as a risk it has to justify. But a body keeping you awake to stay useful is reading the moment wrong. No threat is here. There is only a bed, and a long night, and a person who has already done more than enough. The guilt is old, and it is honest, and tonight it is simply mistaken. A single worry swells larger at midnight than it ever looked at noon. This is not imagination stretching things out of shape. As the prefrontal cortex, the calm and reasoning part of the brain, powers down for the night, the amygdala, which handles fear and alarm, grows relatively louder. The same thought now passes through a brain holding less of its own steadying voice. So the trouble looks enormous, not because it grew, but because the part of you that keeps perspective has sensibly gone to rest first. What feels vast right now will shrink again by morning. That shrinking is chemistry returning, not a problem you failed to solve in the dark. Notice, sometimes, that the breath has gone shallow and held without your meaning it to. Breath and nervous system are wired together along a nerve called the vagus, which travels from the brainstem down through the chest and the belly. A slow breath out sends that nerve a clear message that the danger has passed. It is one of the few doors into rest you can open from the inside, not by trying harder, but by letting each breath leave a little slower than the one before it. The body reads a long exhale the way it reads a hand laying something heavy down. It hears, in that the carrying is done. The day's tension hides in the jaw, the shoulders, the small space between the brows, and you only feel it once you stop. A body stores readiness as muscle tone. A quiet bracing it keeps up in case it is needed again. This lingering hold can stay switched on for hours after there is nothing left to brace against. Folded inside, that is a simple mercy. What the body learned to hold. The body knows how to release, one region at a time. The moment it understands that no one is asking it to be ready anymore, the shoulders can come down now. Nothing tonight is going to require them. Wide awake at the exact hour you most wanted sleep, as if the body picked the worst possible timing on purpose. Your internal clock, the circadian system, runs on light and habit, and it can drift when the days blur into one another. There is even a stretch in the early evening that scientists call the wakefulness maintenance zone, when the body holds the door against sleep for a while before the tide finally turns. Knowing it is there changes how it feels to lie in it. The wakefulness is not rebellion against you. It is a rhythm, and rhythms always come back around. Yours is closer to its turning than it seems from inside the waiting. There is a strange loneliness in being awake while the whole world sleeps. A sense that everyone else has crossed over and left you behind on this side. That feeling has a physical echo. At night, with far fewer signals arriving from outside, the brain turns its attention inward, and the inner world starts to feel like the only world there is. But the very quiet that makes the night feel solitary is also the exact condition that rest needs in order to come. You are not stranded outside of sleep, locked out while others rest. You are standing in its doorway, inside the precise stillness it has always required to arrive. A warm shower, a heavy blanket, and drowsiness arrives almost without your consent. Sleep is set off in part by a small drop in your core temperature, and warmth against the skin pulls blood toward the surface, which helps that inner cooling happen. The body carries a lullaby written in heat and its slow release. This is why that loosening feeling, warmth spreading, and then a soft coolness settling beneath it, so often comes just before sleep does. It is not a coincidence you happen to notice. It is your own physiology quietly laying the path. The way it has laid it on thousands of nights you never stayed awake to watch. A racing heart can keep you alert, even while you lie perfectly still. The heart does not answer only to movement. It answers to how safe the nervous system believes the moment to be. There is a quality called heart rate variability, the small natural give between one beat and the next, and it tends to widen when the body feels secure enough to lower its guard. You cannot order that number higher, but you can offer the conditions it needs. Slow breath, dim light, the steady message, repeated by your own body to itself, that nothing in this room asks to be defended. The heart eases once it starts to believe you. Some nights the mind replays one moment over and over, turning it like a stone in the hand. This is the default mode network again, doing something many researchers believe helps the brain make sense of a day, sorting what matters and filing away what is finished. The looping can feel like a trap you cannot climb out of. It is closer to digestion. The mind is breaking the day down so it can be put away. And like digestion, it runs best when you stop standing over it. The sorting wants the background, not your supervision. You can let it work in the dark while the rest of you begins, quietly, to sink. There is often a clear relief on the far side of finally crying. The way the whole body seems to breathe out through it. Much of that ease comes not from the crying itself, but from what follows it. The slow return of the calming branch of the nervous system once the wave has passed. The relief lives in the settling afterward, not in some draining away of stress. So if something rises in you tonight as you lie here, you do not have to read it as the day turning worse. It can simply be the day moving through you and out. The way water finds its own level once you stop gripping the glass so tightly in your hand. A strange second wind can arrive late. Energy showing up at the precise hour you most want sleep. Part of this is the circadian system, which sends its strongest push for wakefulness in the hours before your usual bedtime, briefly working against the tiredness building underneath. Staying up past that window can keep the body's stress chemistry raised too. Alert when you would rather be winding down. Either way, it is trying to keep you going, not to keep you from rest. The way through is not to fight the surge, but to stop feeding it. Low light, small movements, one steady message held through it all. The day is over, and the reserves can come back down. Lying down, exhausted, and actually feeling rested turn out to be two different things. Rest is not only the absence of motion, it is a state the nervous system has to give itself permission to enter. A body can lie still for hours in a posture of readiness, the muscles faintly braced, the breath kept shallow, never once crossing over into release. What turns lying down into true rest is a felt sense of safety, a quiet decision deep in the body that it can finally stop holding the line. That decision is something you can invite, not by searching for it, oddly, but by setting the searching itself gently aside. Being truly listened to can loosen something in the chest, almost physically. before a single problem is solved. Connection settles the nervous system through something called co-regulation, the way one calm presence can slow another person's heart simply by being near. Alone at night, you become both at once, the one who soothes and the one being soothed. The same warmth you would offer someone you love. The body can take in from you, carried in the tone of your own attention. Gentleness here is not indulgence you have to apologize for. It is regulation. It is a medicine the body already knows exactly how to use, and it has been waiting all day for the dose. One unkind thought about yourself can tighten the whole body in an instant, before you have even finished thinking it. Self-criticism stirs the same threat response as a danger out in the world. The brain does not fully separate an attacker from an attacking thought of its own. This is why a harsh inner voice at bedtime keeps you awake so efficiently. Your body is bracing against you. What helps is not forcing in cheerful thoughts to drown it out. It is simply noticing the bracing as it happens, and letting the voice drop in volume the way you would lower your own in a room where someone you love is finally trying to sleep. Think back to a time you fell asleep almost the instant you lay down. A long car ride, a quiet afternoon, someone you trusted close by. Safety is the true precondition for sleep. Deeper than comfort, deeper even than how tired you are. The brain runs a constant background check on its surroundings, below all awareness, deciding moment to moment whether it is safe to let go. When sleep will not come, it is often this check that has not yet cleared, and it clears, not through argument, but through cues. The dark, the weight of the blanket, the slowing breath, the small, repeated evidence that here, right now, you are held. The worst nights tend to follow the busiest days, as if the body had been saving the unrest for last. While you are moving and achieving and answering, the stress chemistry has somewhere to go. The instant you stop, it has nowhere left to discharge, so it surfaces into the stillness instead. This is why rest can feel oddly activating at first, before it eases. You are meeting the whole day's residue all at once, but that meeting is the start of clearing it, not a sign of failure. The discomfort of stopping is not proof that you should have kept going. It is the body, at long last, finally getting its turn. A familiar bedtime routine can pull drowsiness over you before you have even lain down. The brain loves prediction. It relaxes the moment it knows what comes next. A steady set of cues, the same dimming, the same small acts in the same order, becomes a kind of language that tells the nervous system rest is on its way. The routine does not have to be done perfectly to work. Its power lives in the repetition. The way a path appears across the grass, not from one careful crossing, but from many ordinary ones. Your body is always learning the way back, a little more. Every single night, you let it. There is a difference between a shallow, busy breath up high in the chest and a deep one that seems to reach all the way to the belly. Most of us under quiet, low stress, breathe high without ever noticing. And the body reads that pattern as a mild, ongoing alarm, letting the breath drop lower. So the belly rises before the chest does, sends a different message entirely. There is room here. There is time. A body cannot feel safe and breathe as if it is in danger at the same moment. So the breath becomes a small vote, cast again and again, for the version of this night where nothing at all is wrong. Just before sleep, the thoughts sometimes turn loose and strange, half pictures and drifting fragments that do not quite hold together. This is hypnagogia, the threshold place between waking and sleeping, and it means the brain has already begun loosening its grip on logic. Far from a problem. It is a sign the crossing has started. If you can let those odd fragments pass without grabbing at them, without startling yourself awake to study them, you ride the very current the brain is already offering you. The strangeness is not an interruption to fix. It is the path itself, beginning to open under you, while the watching part of you is still deciding whether to trust it. Recall the relief of setting down something heavy you carried a few steps too far. The way your arms keep its shape for a moment and then forget. A body lets go of held tension in much the same way, in waves rather than all at once. Each region softening a little after you stop asking it to hold on. Tonight, there is nothing left to carry anywhere. The day has no more rooms it needs you to step into. The shoulders can release. The long, quiet muscles down the spine can release. The hands can forget what they were holding and stay open in the dark, asking for nothing further from you. How rarely you let yourself simply be unproductive. And how strange that permission can feel even now. The discomfort is not a flaw inside you. It is a whole culture written into the nervous system. A quiet belief that worth is something you perform. But the body beneath that belief runs on a completely different economy. It repairs. It sorts. It heals. And it does every bit of that only once you stop. The rest you feel you have to earn first turns out to be the very process that earns tomorrow back for you. You are not falling behind by lying here. You are doing the oldest work a body knows. The sorting is already underway behind your closed eyes. With no instruction from you and no effort you have to supply. The breath has slowed on its own since we began. Let the next one out a little longer than the last. And let us keep moving inward together, toward the part of this you can feel long before you could ever explain it. Sometimes a problem solves itself overnight, and you wake holding an answer you could not reach awake. During sleep, the brain replays and reshuffles the day's experiences, strengthening some connections and quietly trimming back others. This is consolidation, and it is why a single night of rest can leave a tangled situation looking suddenly clearer in the morning. There is no work to do on it tonight. The working goes on without you, in the dark. In a part of you that has never once needed your supervision to do its finest and most patient thinking, you can hand it over now, and let the dark keep turning it while you sink. A room feels different the moment it has been cleaned, even when you cannot say exactly what changed. The brain appears to have a version of this for itself. During deep sleep, a clearing process called the glymphatic system seems to grow more active, helping wash out the byproducts that gather across a long waking day. Seen this way, rest is not idleness at all. It looks far more like maintenance the brain can mostly only run once you have gone offline. The heaviness you feel by night is partly just a brain asking for its cleaning hour, and that hour is yours to give, freely, simply by loosening your hold on the day. As sleep draws near, the senses dull in a pleasant way, sounds softening, and the room seeming to drift back. This is the thalamus, a relay station deep in the brain, slowly closing the gates that let the outside world come in. The world does not actually grow quieter. You are being gently sealed away from it, on purpose, so that nothing left out there can call you back. That receding feeling you sometimes catch right before sleep is the body drawing the curtains for you. You are allowed to let it close them. Nothing beyond this room tonight is asking you to stay up and keep watch over it. A steady, going nowhere sound, rain or a fan or distant waves, can carry you off when pure silence cannot. The brain finds safety in input that is predictable and low in information, and it stops scanning the moment nothing changes. A constant, gentle sound gives the alert part of you something undemanding to lean against, like a hand resting between the shoulder blades. This is why a hum you might once have fought becomes, given permission, a kind of company in the dark. The nervous system was never really asking for perfect quiet. It was asking for the steady assurance that nothing was about to happen. And a soft sound says exactly that. In the last moments before sleep, a heaviness settles into the limbs, as if they were sinking down into the bed. As the body crosses into sleep, it lets go of muscle tone almost completely. A natural release that can feel like growing pleasantly weighted. This is the body deciding it no longer has to be ready to move or run. The sinking is not something you produce through effort. It arrives on its own the instant the system rules that it is safe. And it has been quietly making that ruling all evening. With each slow breath you let out, gathering the evidence that the night around you is, at last, safe enough. A gentle weight across the body, a heavy quilt, or an arm laid over you, settles the whole system at once. Steady pressure tends to wake the calming branch of the nervous system, easing the heart rate and quieting the sense of being exposed. The body reads weight as protection, an old signal that you are not alone out here and not unsheltered. Tonight, even the plain pressure of the bed beneath you carries a smaller version of that same message. You are held up entirely by the ground. It asks you to hold nothing up in return, not even yourself, not even for a moment longer. There is real comfort in being somewhere familiar when you are tired. Your own bed, your own dark, your own ceiling overhead. The brain eases its vigilance in places it already knows, because there is less to evaluate and fewer unknowns to track. Familiarity is, to the nervous system, a safety you have already built with your own nights. Each one you spend here adds quietly to that record. So even on a restless night, some part of you recognizes this place and begins to stand down. It has learned, across many nights, that here nothing has ever truly needed defending. A long breath out seems to drop the shoulders all on its own. Without your deciding to lower them, there is a pattern beneath that. As you breathe out, the calming branch of the nervous system signals the heart to slow, and an unhurried exhale gives that signal more room to work. You do not have to count anything or measure it. Just let the breath out stay slow, and let it finish all the way before the next one begins to rise. The body takes that small gift of time and turns it into a slower pulse, a looser chest, a quiet that spreads outward from somewhere near the center of you. reaching for the edges. The moment you finally feel understood, the urge to keep explaining yourself simply dissolves. The nervous system carries a close cousin of that relief whenever it stops bracing for what is next. So much of nighttime restlessness is a body still readying itself for a tomorrow that has not arrived and cannot be lived in advance. The bracing protects nothing real. When you let the future stay where it is, out past the morning, the muscles that were holding it ready are free to release as well. There is only this hour, and this hour asks nothing of you but your soft, undefended presence inside it, exactly as you are. Children fall asleep mid-sentence, mid-motion, with a completeness most adults seem to lose somewhere along the way. Part of what they still have is an unguarded nervous system, one that has not yet learned to treat rest as risky or undeserved. That capacity does not actually vanish from you. It gets buried under years of being needed by other people. But it is still there, intact, underneath all the vigilance, waiting. The way back to it is not to learn some new technique. It is to set down what you learned to carry, layer by layer, until the older and simpler knowing of how to rest can rise to the surface again. The breath naturally slows when you watch something vast and unhurried. A slow tide coming in, a wide sky, clouds drifting with nowhere to be. The body tends to fall into step with whatever rhythm it rests its attention on. This is why a slow, spacious focus carries you towards sleep more surely than trying to scrub the mind empty ever could. There is no call to make the thoughts stop. Only give them something slow to move alongside. Let your own rhythm lengthen until it matches the wide and easy thing you are watching, and the gaps between thoughts will quietly widen on their own into rest. There is a tiredness that comes not from doing too much but from holding too much in. The deep fatigue of restraint, keeping a feeling pressed down, takes continuous energy. The body works to hold the lid in place. And that effort does not clock out just because the day did. At night, as you lower your defenses, what was held can finally begin to move through, and the moving itself can feel like exhaustion lifting off you, letting yourself feel. Here in the dark, where no one is watching or needing anything, is not weakness. It is the setting down of a load you have been carrying with muscles you never knew were tensed. A single moment of true stillness can feel longer and more restoring than hours of distraction stacked end to end. The brain does not measure rest in minutes on a clock. It measures it in the depth of the release. A few minutes of real, settled calm can lower the chemistry of stress further than a whole evening spent half relaxing in front of a glowing screen. That is reassuring on a night that already feels too short for proper sleep. You do not require many flawless hours before the healing can begin. You only need the body to drop, even briefly, down into the depth where the actual repair quietly lives. The pace inside you has already shifted, the breath a little longer now, the thoughts a little farther apart than when we started. Nothing here needs finishing, nothing is being measured, and no one is keeping score of how well you rest. Let one more breath go, slow and complete, and let us keep drifting together toward the quieter water that is waiting up ahead. Naming a feeling can take some of its weight away. Saying "I am anxious" lands softer than the shapeless dread underneath it. Putting a feeling into words gently engages the reasoning brain, and quiets the alarm centers. Researchers have watched that shift happen on brain scans. There is no obligation to fix what you name. The naming alone loosens its grip on you. So if something is stirring as you lie here, you might simply name it once, quietly, without judgment. Notice how the plain act of seeing it clearly begins, on its own. To set it gently down, the body relaxes in stages, never in a single switch. First the hands, maybe, then the jaw, then somewhere deeper you cannot quite locate. Sleep is not a door you step through all at once. It is a descent, a series of thresholds the body crosses one after another after another. Each stage is real progress, even on the ones where you are still faintly aware. So awareness itself is not proof that you have failed to sleep. It is often only the early thresholds, the body loosening floor by floor beneath you. You can stop checking whether you have arrived yet. The descent is already happening, and it does not need you watching to keep going. A worry shrinks the moment you look at it directly. It often turns out smaller than it loomed in the dark. Much of nighttime fear survives precisely because it is never examined. It loops on, vague and oversized, fed by the act of looking away. But a body cannot hold full alarm forever. Alarm is expensive to run, and it fades on its own when nothing refreshes it. If you let a worry simply sit there, present but unwrestled, it tends to lose its charge. The way a sound you stop straining to hear slides back into the background and goes quiet. Being held, truly held, can slow your breathing until it matches another person's without either of you trying. This belongs to the same family of comfort the body learned first. Read from the subtle, automatic cues of a calm body close by. On a night spent alone, you can offer yourself a quieter version of it. A hand laid over your own chest, the plain warmth of your palm, the steadiness of your own unhurried breath rising and falling. The body does not fully sort out where the comfort is coming from. It only registers that comfort is present at all and begins, slowly, to believe that it is finally safe to rest. Some nights the mind keeps generating tasks, listing them again and again as if afraid of forgetting a single one. This is working memory. Holding open loops it does not trust will survive until morning on their own. Closing those loops does not actually require solving them tonight. It requires only acknowledging them and promising they will keep. Many people find that a single quiet thought, "This can wait for the light," loosens the grip far better than any plan would. The mind is not demanding you do the tasks now. It is asking for assurance that they will not be lost in the dark. You are allowed to give it exactly that. Warmth in the hands and feet often arrives just before sleep does, a quiet heat spreading out to the edges of you. As the body prepares to rest, blood flows toward the extremities, releasing core heat so the inner temperature can drift down. That spreading warmth at your fingers and toes is a small announcement that the descent has begun. There is nothing you have to do to cause it. If you notice it tonight, the hands growing heavy and warm, the feet softening into the sheets, take it as a sign. Your own body is doing what it has always known how to do. A kind word at the right moment can undo a whole day's worth of tension in a breath. The brain answers compassion, including the kind you turn toward yourself. by leaning on chemistry tied to safety and belonging, which works directly against the stress response. So being gentle with yourself at bedtime is not sentimental softness. It is physiology. The same nervous system that braces hard against criticism softens under care. The tone you take with yourself in these last waking minutes matters more than whatever the words actually say. A soft voice, even your own in the dark, is enough to tell the body the watch is finally over. In the deepest reaches of rest, the line between you and the bed seems to blur and go uncertain. As you sink towards sleep, the brain's map of the body, its constant background sense of where you end and the world begins, starts to loosen its edges. That dissolving feeling, sometimes a faint sense of floating, is not a thing going wrong in you. It is the brain releasing one of the last burdens it carries while awake. The careful tracking of your physical outline. You can let that map go soft tonight. No edge of you needs guarding in the dark, and nothing is pressing in against you from somewhere beyond it. Trying to recall a name fails right up until you stop trying. Then it surfaces on its own. The mind works this same way with rest. Sleep arrives only once the pursuit of it ends. Like the loosening at the top of a swing, like the breath that drops the instant you stop managing it. The effort to sleep is the one effort that defeats its own purpose. So the most useful thing tonight is the thing that feels like doing nothing at all. Stop reaching. Let even the reaching dissolve. And notice what quietly moves in to fill the space it leaves. A long day spent carrying other people's needs can leave you drained in a way ordinary tiredness does not reach. There is a specific cost to staying constantly attuned to everyone else. A slow draining of the very same resources that sleep exists to restore. If your hours are spent attending and holding and anticipating for others, then your nights are not a luxury you are stealing. They are the only window the whole system gets to refill itself. Resting is not taking something away from the people who lean on you. It is the quiet, unglamorous way you stay someone they can keep leaning on tomorrow. And the day after that, there is a wide quiet on the far side of weeping, or after a long-held breath has finally gone. A spaciousness that opens once the holding breaks. The nervous system swings on a natural pendulum. After full activation comes a deep and automatic settling, often deeper than whatever calm came before the storm. This is why the hardest evenings can give way to the most complete rest of all. Once the holding finally lets go, if tonight has carried real weight, the weight itself may turn out to be the thing that carries you down, not as a punishment owed, but as a body completing a cycle it waited all day to finish. Notice how the question we began with has quietly changed its shape along the way. We started by asking how you might step back into rest. What the body keeps showing, fact after fact, is that you do not enter rest by doing more. You enter it by doing less. By letting the trying fall away until rest moves in to fill the room, the effort leaves empty. The guilt that says you have to earn your stillness has the whole thing backward. Stillness is not a prize handed over at the end of the work. In the only economy your body has ever actually run on, the stillness is the work. You just heard that the rest you feel you have to earn is the very thing doing the repair. And something in you may push back at that. The way stopping can feel like getting away with something. Notice where that resistance sits right now. Maybe in the chest, maybe behind the eyes, and let it be loosened instead of answered. There is no verdict to reach tonight. The breath is already slower than it was. Let it stay that way, and let us go further in, toward the place where even the resisting goes quiet. A held breath let go seems to carry a piece of tension out with it. The body does not store stress as one knot. It keeps it spread across muscle and breath and pulse. It unwinds the same way, slowly, by parts. As one place softens, it gives the next one leave to follow. The slowing breath eases the heart. The easing heart loosens the shoulders. The shoulders let the jaw come unclenched. There is nothing to direct from above. Begin it anywhere, and let it spread on its own. A familiar lullaby can soothe you long after the words have slipped your memory. Rhythm reaches the nervous system underneath language, in older parts that answer to pattern, not meaning. This is why the slow cadence of a calm voice can carry you down when reasoning cannot. So can the steady rise and fall of your own breath? The thinking mind was never the part that knew how to sleep. The part that knows is older and wordless. It answers to rhythm, to the simple repeating evidence that the night is moving gently, and you are moving down through it. Some weights you have carried so long you stopped noticing they were weights. The body holds chronic tension that way, a baseline bracing that comes to feel like simply how you are made. It stays hidden until a moment of true rest reveals the contrast. Tonight might hand you one of those moments, a sudden softening somewhere you never knew was clenched. That is not new tension arriving. It is old tension leaving, made visible by the letting go. You are allowed to feel lighter than usual. The lightness was always underneath. It only waited for you to release the rest. A single act of being cared for can resettle a whole nervous system. Even briefly, care is never abstract to the body. It lands as real change. A slower heart, an easier breath, a guard quietly coming down. Tonight, that care can come from your own attention, turned gently inward. You can be both at once, the tired one, and the one who tends the tired one. The tending still works, because comfort given to yourself is registered as real. The body softens under kindness, wherever it comes from. It has waited all day for someone to offer it. Rest sometimes brings up feeling instead of calm, a sadness, a tenderness, rising once the body goes still. This is the day's unprocessed emotion finding room to move at last. Now the doing has stopped crowding it out. The stillness did not create the feeling. It only uncovered what the busyness held down. And feeling it here, where it is safe, is part of how the body clears it. What surfaces in the quiet is not the quiet failing you. It is the quiet doing its work, giving the held things a door and letting them out into the dark. The most restoring rest often comes on the nights you stopped expecting it. Expectation keeps a thin thread of effort running underneath, a quiet checking of whether it is working yet. Letting go of even that removes the last small task the mind was holding. There is a freedom in deciding this hour does not have to produce sleep. It can simply be a stretch of lying in the dark, asking nothing, complete on its own. And often, in that exact release of demand, with nothing left to chase, the body quietly drops the rest of the way down. There is silence that feels like being left behind, and silence that feels like shelter. They can be the same room. The nervous system reads identical, quiet, two opposite ways, depending only on whether it feels safe inside it. And safety is something you can build even now. The weight of the blanket, the dark, the slow breath, the small repeated word that nothing here is wrong. As those cues gather, the lonely silence can turn into the sheltering kind. Almost without your noticing, the room has not changed. Only the body's red on it has. And that red can always shift. A long-awaited relief floods the body with a particular ease, setting a heavy bag down after miles, finally sitting after a day on your feet. Rest carries that same quality of arrival. Once the body trusts it has leave to let go. So much of the struggle for sleep is a body waiting on a permission that never seems to come. But that permission was never coming from outside you. It is yours to give, and you can give it now. A slow breath out, and the silent word that the long carrying is. For tonight, complete. Being seen without having to perform is its own quiet rest, one most people rarely get. The constant low effort of managing how you come across takes more than you notice. It runs even when you are alone, even inside your own thoughts. At night, in the dark, there is finally no one to be anything for. The face can go slack. The posture can lose its shape. The self can stop arranging itself for an audience that is not there. That release is not nothing. It is the end of a day-long performance. And laying it down is part of what sinks you. A river never pushes itself toward the sea. It follows the shape of the land it is given, and arrives anyway. Your body holds the same built-in direction toward sleep. It does not have to be forced along the way. Left alone, with the cues in place, it descends on its own. It follows a course it has run on thousands of nights you never managed. Tonight you can stop pushing the water uphill. Let it find the low places by itself. The pull toward rest is already there inside you. Older and surer than any effort you could add. The pull toward sleep is itself a kind of safety arriving. The body has judged the night secure enough to let you go under. That judgment is not made in the thinking mind. It is made far below it, in the same old systems that once decided whether it was safe to close your eyes at all. When they read enough quiet evidence, the dark and the stillness and the slow breath, they loosen their grip on wakefulness without asking you. So the heaviness creeping into you now is not nothing. It is safety. Reached deep in the body, beginning to carry you down. One deep, slow breath can interrupt a spiral of worry almost mid-sentence. The breath is one of very few systems that is both automatic and open to your will. A doorway between the part of you that frets and the part that can grow calm. There is no winning the argument with your own thoughts tonight. You can simply step through that doorway again and again. Each long exhale is a small leaving of the spiral, and the worried thoughts, finding no one left to spin for, begin to lose their momentum and settle quietly back down on their own. The body sometimes twitches as you drift off, a small jerk right at the edge of sleep. These are hypnic jerks, harmless flickers as the body releases motor control on its way down. Far from a problem, they are a sign you are already crossing the threshold. The system is letting go of its wakeful grip. If one comes tonight, you can read it not as something that woke you, but as quiet confirmation. You were already on your way down, already loosening, already far closer to sleep than the watching part of your mind believed you were. Grief or worry can sit in the chest as a physical weight, heaviness with no clear cause. Emotion lives in the body as much as the mind. The same regions that handle sensation light up with feeling. This is why letting yourself simply feel a heaviness, instead of analyzing it apart, can ease it. You meet it where it actually lives. There is nothing to understand about it tonight. You only let it be felt, and in being felt at last, it is allowed to move. The way a held breath moves, the instant you stop holding it in. There is a deep ease in being somewhere you do not have to leave. No next place to reach. No clock left to beat. The nervous system relaxes most fully when it senses there is nowhere else it is supposed to be. Tonight, truly, there is not. This bed, this dark, this hour asks nothing more of you. It points to nothing beyond itself. You have already arrived at the only place you were trying to reach. There is no further left to travel. And inside that, with no road ahead, the body is free to come to a full stop. Trust lets you lean your whole weight on something without bracing for it to give. The body does this with the bed only once it believes it is truly supported. And the believing, not the mattress, is what allows the release. You can offer that belief on purpose tonight. Feel the surface beneath you, how completely it holds you up, how little of your own effort the holding takes. Let the bracing that keeps part of you faintly lifted dissolve into the support that was already there. You can hand over your entire weight now. Nothing here is going to let you fall. The mind quiets once the eyes have nothing left to track. Vision is one of the brain's heaviest demands. In the dark, with the eyes still, an enormous amount of that work has nowhere to go. This is part of why closing the eyes is more than blocking light. It lifts one of the largest loads the brain carries through every waking hour. Behind your closed eyes right now, that load is already set down. The dark in there is not empty. It is spacious. The plain relief of a room cleared of everything that spent the day asking to be looked at. A worry written down stops circling, as if the page agreed to hold it so you no longer have to. The mind loops hardest over what it fears losing. Given any reliable keeper, it can release the loop. Even with no paper near you, you can offer the mind a keeper tonight. The simple, repeated promise that whatever matters will still be here in the morning, that nothing essential gets lost in sleep. The looping was never stubbornness. It was care. Set down in the wrong hour. Thank it for guarding. And tell it the morning will hold what it held. There is a particular peace in a thing genuinely finished. The way the body unclenches around it. Much of restlessness is the sense of a day left ragged at its edges, of loops still open, but no day is ever truly finished, waiting to feel that it is, before allowing rest, is waiting for a feeling that will not come tonight. Rest does not require a completed day to begin. It requires only the decision to set the unfinished down, not as a failure, but as the ordinary act of a person who will pick it back up, renewed, when the light returns, given enough safety, A body always leans toward healing on its own. Left undisturbed, it mends tissue. It sorts memory. It clears what the day deposited. It restores what got spent. An enormous, quiet labor. It can only run while you rest. You supervise none of it. You only provide the conditions it needs to begin. The dark, the stillness, the lowered guard. The healing that follows is not something you do by force of will. It is something you allow. The way a small wound closes once you stop picking at it. Your only task tonight is to stop standing in its way. A gentle, repeating motion can pull you toward sleep almost against your intentions. Rocking, a slow walk, the sway of a moving train. The nervous system is soothed by movement that is rhythmic and predictable. An echo of the earliest comfort nearly all of us knew. Even the rise and fall of your own breath carries that quality. A small, faithful rhythm you can rest your attention on. There is no following it with effort. Just notice it rising and falling on its own. Let the noticing rock you slowly down, the way you were once rocked, toward the same old destination. Relief can feel like warmth opening across the chest, an almost physical loosening from inside. When the nervous system shifts from guard into rest, the change is never only an idea. It arrives as plain sensation, a softening behind the breastbone, a settling low in the belly, a warmth moving slowly outward toward your edges. You may feel it tonight, the body quietly announcing its own release. If you do, there is nothing to do with it. Simply let it spread. Let it reach the places still holding on. Trust that it already knows the way to every part of you waiting to be let go. Once you stop trying to manage a slow process, it tends to move better without you. Sleep is the clearest example there is. It runs best entirely outside your control. The way a tide returns without being summoned. The way a wound closes without a single instruction from you. What the night keeps showing, gently, is that the repair was never waiting on your permission to begin. It runs whether or not you feel you earned it. It runs whether or not you are awake to approve. You can let go of the rope now. The thing you strained to make happen has been happening all along. The clearing runs on its own now. The way a tide comes in without ever being asked. Something has been gathering all this slow hour toward one quiet idea. That you were never the one keeping yourself whole. Never the one who had to hold the night together by staying awake inside it. You can set that watch down. The body has the rest from here. Let the breath go wherever it wants to go. What we have been circling all along is very close now, and you do not have to reach for it. It is coming to you. The things you most resisted feeling often soften the instant you stop resisting them. The body works the same way with rest. The harder some part of you guards against letting go, afraid of what stopping might surface, the more that guarding quietly costs. But on the far side of the resistance there is no flood waiting, no thing you feared. There is only release. The held feeling, met at last, does not overwhelm you. It moves, and in moving, it lightens. You can stop bracing against your own rest tonight. What waits past the bracing is far gentler than the bracing ever was. Consider, for a moment, what this long night has been showing you. piece by quiet piece. The exhaustion that would not switch off. The mind racing in the silence. The guilt insisting that stopping had to be earned first. Underneath, all of it runs one steady truth. The body has shown all along. The repair was never something you had to perform for anyone. It was never waiting on you to deserve it. Your body heals you the way it breathes you, without asking, without checking your worth. Rest is not the prize for the day's work. Rest is the body, quietly, doing its own. The breath is slower now than when this began. The body knows the way down from here. It has already started going, with no further word from you. Whatever raced in you earlier has lost its hurry. There is room around each thought now, more dark between them. You do not have to gather them back, or set them in order. Let them drift on past, the way clouds drift, while the slow current underneath keeps carrying you quietly down. Somewhere in you, in the chest or the hands, a warmth has settled in. It asks nothing of you. Let it be enough. Let it spread wherever it wants. Nothing in this room is reaching for your attention now. Not the hour, not the dark, not the quiet at the windows. You can stop answering. You can stop being ready for the next thing. Simply be a body lying down in the safe dark, releasing the long day one slow breath at a time. The weight you carried through the day has nowhere left to go tonight. The hands can forget the shape of what they held. The shoulders can come all the way down. The day has no more rooms it wants you to enter, no more answers it needs from you. It has let you go already. You can let it go in turn, easing your grip finger by finger, until your hands rest open and empty and warm against the sheets. The body is lowering its guard the slow way it does on every night you let it. This is one of those nights. There is no watch left to keep, no threat in the dark that needs you awake to meet it. The system that stayed alert so long can stand down. Underneath the tiredness, an older knowing of how to rest is rising back. The one you had before you learned that rest was earned. Let it take over now. The heart has slowed without your asking. The breath has lengthened on its own. Below your noticing, the body has taken up the watch, so you no longer have to hold it. Whatever is still unfinished will keep until the light. The morning will hold it for you. You can set it down right where you lie, and trust that nothing essential slips away in the dark. There is nothing to guard now, only the slow, certain settling of a body finally given leave to stop. The dark behind your eyes is not an empty thing. It is spacious. A room cleared of everything that spent the day asking to be seen. You are held on every side, by the bed beneath you, by the dark around you, by the gentle weight of the blanket. You hold nothing up in return tonight. Nothing is going to let you fall. The day is over, and in the quiet it leaves. The body sinks a little lower with each breath. Feel how little effort the holding takes now. The surface beneath you is doing all of it, carrying your whole weight while you give it over. If a feeling rises in the quiet, let it move through. It is not the night going wrong. It is only the last of the day finding its way out. There is nowhere else you are meant to be. Nothing pulling you toward a next place. You have arrived. There is no further to go, and the body can rest. The breath out stays unhurried, finishing before the next one rises. With each one, the body softens a little more. The face goes slack. The shoulders forget their old held shape. The long muscles down the spine are letting go, floor by floor. The way a building goes dark from the top down, you do not have to deserve any of this. The rest is not a thing you are getting away with. It is a thing that is getting you back, while you do nothing but breathe. The hands have gone warm and heavy where they lie. The feet have softened into the sheets. The slow descent the body began long ago is nearly complete. You can stop reaching for sleep entirely. The reaching was the one thing that held it off. Let even that go now. The last small effort. The room has begun to recede around you. The sounds gone soft and far. You are being sealed away, gently, from a world that asks nothing of you for the length of this whole long night. There is no watch left to keep tonight. The body has it now, every part of it, so you can be the one who finally rests, instead of the one who stands guard. The edges of you have gone soft against the dark. No boundary needs holding. No outline you have to keep tracking. You can let the whole map of you go quiet. Let the breath drift where it drifts. Let the weight settle to the bottom, where the still water has gone calm. The day asked so much of you, and you answered all of it. Now the answering is done. There is nothing further it wants. You gave enough. You can stop being useful for one whole night. Let that be allowed, fully, with no condition attached. The part of you that kept score all day can rest too. Below the tiredness, the older self that always knew how to let go is rising back. It carries you down into the waiting dark. Notice how quiet it has become inside you. How far apart the thoughts have drifted. How little is left for the mind to do. The work of the night is happening without you now. In the dark. In the parts of you that never needed watching. You can trust them with it. There is no result to produce before dawn. Nothing this hour wants you to fix. Only a body lying down, breathing slow, held by the night, sinking toward a rest it does not have to earn. The warmth that opened in your chest a while ago has spread now. It reaches the places still holding on, loosening them one by one. You did nothing to make it happen. It found its own way, the way warmth does, into every part of you waiting to be let go. There is no effort left in you to release. The breath comes slow and even on its own. The long day drains out of you like still water finding its level, slow and complete. Everything the day stirred up is settling quietly to the bottom of you now, going still on its own, the way clouded water clears overnight when nobody disturbs it. There was never a condition placed on this rest. Never a watch you had to keep to be worthy of it. You can let the last of the holding dissolve, wherever it lingers. Let yourself be carried the rest of the way down. The night has you. The body has you. You can stop, all the way. You came to this night tired in a way ordinary sleep never reached. Tired from holding. Tired from earning. Tired from keeping the watch long after the day was done. What the dark gives back is not a method or a trick. It is something simpler and harder to take in. The rest you spent so long trying to deserve was always already yours. The body asked no permission to begin healing you. It asked only that you stop standing guard over your own stillness. Let this be the place you set the guarding down for good. Not because the day was finished, not because you finally did enough to earn it, only because you are allowed, fully and without condition, to be cared for by your own quiet. The mending does not wait for you to become worthy first. It is happening now, in the dark, inside you, while you lie here and breathe. There is nothing left to do, nothing to prove. You are here, you are held, and that is enough. The slow water in you has gone calm and clear. The thoughts have nearly stopped their drifting. The breath moves on its own, unhurried, complete. The body has grown so heavy and warm that the bed seems to hold all of you at once. There is no edge left to guard. No task undone the morning will not keep. You can let go of the last thread of holding now. It was so faint you barely knew it was there. Sink into the waiting dark. Whatever still stirs in you can settle now. The day has been set down. The watch has been handed over. The guarding has gone quiet at last. Below everything, the night stripped away. One simple truth remains. You do not have to earn the rest that is already holding you. There was never a price on it. Never a condition. Never a moment you had to deserve. Tonight you are simply allowed to be mended. And you are, breath by breath, in the warm dark. The room is far away now. The sounds have gone soft and distant. The dark has grown deep and kind around you. The body is doing its quiet work without you, mending and clearing and restoring, while you do nothing but rest inside it. You can let the last of your awareness go loose. Let it drift the way everything else has drifted tonight, lower and lower, towards sleep. There is nothing to hold on to, only the slow rise and fall of the breath. The breath rises and falls without you tending it. The heart keeps its slow and certain time. The body holds you. The bed holds the body. The dark holds all of it together. Gently, on every side, you have come all the way down now, to the still place underneath the long day. Nothing to earn here, nothing to guard, nowhere further to go. Let yourself stay. Let the warmth keep spreading. Let the night carry you the rest of the way into sleep. There is only this now. The slow breath, the warm dark, the body sinking soft into the bed, held and unguarded. The long day drained away. Whatever you carried in has been set down. Whatever you feared losing will keep until the light. You are exactly where you were trying to reach, and there is nothing left to do but rest. Let the last of you go quiet. Let the dark close over the day. Let sleep come the way it comes for everyone. Nothing is asked of you here. Not effort, not answers, not even staying awake to hear the end of this. The body has all it needs to carry you the rest of the way. It is already doing it. Breath by slow breath. In the warm dark, you can let go of listening now if you want. Let the words blur and drift off like everything else. The night does not need you to follow along. It only needs you to stop and rest and be held. The thoughts have nearly gone. The breath has gone slow. The body has gone heavy and warm and still, sunk all the way into the bed and the dark. You are held on every side and asked for nothing. There is no further down to go, no last thing to finish, no watch still waiting. You have arrived in the still place, the one that was always there beneath the noise. It waited for you to stop long enough to find it. Let yourself rest here now. Let the breath go wherever it goes. Let the weight settle all the way to the bottom. Let everything you carried come to rest beneath the surface. Where the water has gone still, there is nothing left to hold tonight. Nothing left to guard. Nothing to earn before you are allowed to sleep. You were allowed all along. You can stop now. All the way down. Let the dark take the day from your open hands. One last slow breath at a time. You do not have to earn the rest that is already holding you. There was never a condition on it. Never a price. Never a night you had to deserve. Tonight you are simply allowed to be mended. And you are. The day is over. The watch is set down. The body has you. The dark has you. The night has you. And asks nothing in return but that you let yourself be carried. So let yourself be carried. You are home. And you are held. And you can sleep. Picture still water clearing itself overnight. Asking nothing of anyone. Doing its quiet work alone in the dark. Let that same clearing move through you now. Everything the day stirred up is settling to the bottom, going quiet on its own. There was never a condition on this rest, never a watch you had to keep to be worth it. Let the last of the holding dissolve, and let yourself be carried the rest of the way down. You came here tired in a way ordinary sleep never quite reached. Tired from holding and from earning, and from keeping the watch long after the day was done. What the night gave back was not a method or a trick, but something simpler and harder to accept. The rest you spent so long trying to deserve was always already yours. The body asked no permission to heal you. It asked only that you stop standing guard over your own stillness. So let this be the place you set the guarding down. Not because the day was finished, not because you did enough, but because you are allowed, fully and without condition, to be cared for by your own quiet. The mending does not wait for you to be worthy of it. It is happening now, in the dark, in you. Keep this one. Save it for the night the guard goes up highest. The night you most want to be told that rest is not a thing you owe anyone. It will be here, waiting. Whenever you want to be, let back in. Let the last of the day drain away, like still water finding its level. Slow and complete. Let one long breath out, and do not reach for the next. Let it come on its own. If sleep is near, you can step into it now, the way you would return to a room left open for you, with nothing to finish at the door. And if your mind is still moving, that is allowed too. You do not have to be done, only held. And you are held. Rest now, tired one. You were never asked to earn this. Sleep comes for you the way it comes for everyone, asking nothing, one quiet night at a time. Good night.